Happy Monday, everybody. It is the first Monday of the season, given the pre-season is back. So the Monday agenda is back. In this video, I'll be looking at the Ajer Hickey deal, which seems to be edging closer. I'll take a look at the rest of the transfer rumours as well. The third kit was revealed this morning. I'll take a quick look at that. And the first pre-season game of the year takes place this week. Ajer Postecoglou's first game in charge of the club. We'll take a quick preview of that game as well. But first, let's get the intro. So before I get into the transfer rumours, a big thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel so far. I'm edging closer to that magic 2,000 number. Would love to get there before the start of the proper season. So if you are watching, do hit the subscribe button below and like the video so more people can get to watch them. So let's start with the transfer rumours. So Celtic are closing in on a 3.5 million deal for Ajer Hickey, with Bologna transfer exit on the horizon. That's according to the Scottish Sun. Celtic are closing in on a deal for Ajer Hickey. Reports saying this morning the Celtic have made an official bid of £3.5 million for the Bologna player. Celtic had tried to sign Hickey from Hearts last year, but he opted for a move to Serie A last year instead, where he played 11 times. Alexander Kolarov has signed for Bologna, so that makes the move all the more probable as the days goes on. So this is the story that came out late last night. Ajer Hickey, linked with Celtic last year, didn't take the move to Celtic, opted to go to Serie A instead. He is being linked with a move to Celtic, with reports saying that the move is within days of completion. So it does look like Ajer Hickey is going to be sooner or later a Celtic player. He's coming in very young, very fresh, but has first team experience as well. Played a couple of times, a good few times for Bologna in the Serie A. Not going to lie to you, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've been watching Bologna all year, but I have seen Ajer Hickey play a couple of times, and I do think he is the exact type of player, exact type of model that Ajer Postecoglou is looking for as a left back. This is a position that Celtic have needed to fill for a long time. Since Kieran Tierney left, Celtic have not filled this position. Greg Taylor was the starting left back for large parts of last season, as was Diego Laxalt, who came in on loan because Bolly Bolingoli was sent out on loan because of his COVID situation. It was one of the weakest points of Celtic's defence last season and Celtic's offence, because left back is a very important position for Celtic, especially when you've been used to seeing Kieran Tierney bomb up and get crosses into the box. It's a huge part of the game plan, and if Ajer Postecoglou, what we're seeing from him in the last few weeks in terms of his training, in terms of mentality, in terms of the style of play that he's been playing in previous regimes, he wants dynamic fullbacks. He wants players who can get up forward in the pitch, put a high press on, and also be back defensively and have a defensive mind as well. So I think Ajer Hickey fits that model. I think he will be a good player. I've heard a lot of people giving out that Celtic shouldn't be signing that player this young to be a starting player. This is the exact type of player Celtic need to be signing. They need to be signing young. They need to be signing fresh. But Ajer Hickey also has first team experience. He's also played in Scotland. He knows what the league's about, and I think he will be a really good signing for Celtic going forward. Another left back that has been linked with a move to the club is pre-seson defender Kenneth Paal, who has admitted that he is flattered with the links to the club, as Dutch reports have him on the way to Celtic despite interest from England. When asked by Dutch media about the link to Celtic, Paal told them that Celtic is such a big club with such a big history that it's always nice to hear. That just shows you you're doing a good job. So that doesn't prove that he's on the way to Celtic, but it just shows you that he is aware of the interest, as was Ajer Hickey, who has admitted that he knows that Celtic are interested in him and that he's flattered as well. Everybody is going to be flattered by a link to the move to Celtic because it is a massive club and it has a global fan base as well. It has a global impact. So it's nice to see that Kenneth Paal is interested in a move and he sees that Celtic is a prospect that he could potentially go to. Again, don't know too much about Paal, but again, left back is a position that needs to be filled because Greg Taylor is not a good enough defender for that position. He is a little bit older than Ajer Hickey. He's 24 years old, so he has a little bit more experience. He's played in the Eredivisie. You know, Zwolle aren't the best team in the Eredivisie, but they are in a good league, playing at a good standard. So he would have to take a little bit of a step up, but you would imagine that he would be able to make that fairly seamlessly. So I do think, again, Kenneth Paal, the links are there. He has admitted that he's interested. Somebody has already changed his Wikipedia page to say that he plays left back for Celtic. don't think that means it's guaranteed, but it means that he is involved in it. He knows that it's happening, and it potentially could happen over the next few weeks. So at least there is movement in the transfer window. At least the players seem to make sense for the style of play that Ange wants to play. And, at least there's movement, because I thought at one stage last season that Celtic would be going into this season with potentially 12 players that you could play. And it's just nice that that weight has sort of been lifted off the shoulders a bit. There's movement in the transfer window. Liam Shaw has already signed. Vare signed Urquide. And we seem to be just linked with a good few players that actually seem to make sense for the style of play that we want to play. So that's nice to see. And just to finish with the transfer rumours in, Mario Vuskovic, who has been linked with the club for the last couple of weeks, £4.5 million that deal is said to be worth. He was left out of Hajduk Split's pre-season trip to Slovenia. He didn't feature at the weekend as well, so that is adding to the rumours that he's on his way out of Split and on his way into Celtic, but it has increased the rumours that one key Celtic player is on his way out of the club as well. That key player is Christopher Ajer, who has been linked with a move out of the club for the last couple of months now. He has said that he wants to leave the club, and it looks like Norwich have increased their bid to £12 million plus add-ons for the central defender. Central defence is their priority. Christopher Ajer has been on their transfer list for a while now, and to be fair, Christopher Ajer to Norwich would make perfect sense for them. Now, the 12 million plus add-ons, Celtic paid 600,000 for Christopher Ajer initially, so 12 million plus add-ons is a pretty good return on your investment, and that's what Celtic need to do. And to be fair, with 1 year left on his contract, it's better to cash in now £12 million for him than give him off for free next season. So it would make perfect business sense and football sense for Celtic to get rid of Christopher Ajer. Now, he wants to leave the club. He said it openly, and I respect what he was saying. Norwich seems to be a good fitter, so I do think Christopher Ajer should leave the club. Celtic should cash in, and it looks like Mario Vuskovic is coming in as the replacement, which does give me a little bit of confidence that there's a little bit of cohesive thinking going on at the club at the minute, that they're not just selling these assets off without having a replacement ready to go. So it seems like Vuskovic is already being lined up, and Christopher Ajer is being lined up with a move out. I do think Christopher Ajer has been absolutely phenomenal for Celtic over the last couple of years. I think he's going to be really good for Norwich. It's a good fit for him as a club that like to play progressive football. They don't really rely on defensive attributes as their number one priority for their defenders, and the fact that it's going in at the bottom of the Premier League, he will get first team football, so I do think he will develop as a player, and in the next couple of years we'll be talking about Christopher Ajer as one of the best defenders in the world. I do think that's as high as he can go. I think he will be one of the best, if not potentially Virgil van Dijk material. Not quite as good a defender as Virgil van Dijk, but he is as good at bringing the ball out of defence. So a different type of player to Virgil van Dijk. I don't want to make mad predictions that he's going to go for 80-90 million in a couple of years, but I think he will go for about 50-60 million in a couple of years. So he is the type of player that Celtic should have gone for. They did go for it. They got him. They returned their investment, and I wish him all the best when he does leave Celtic. Right, so that is all the transfer rumours for the day. Let's move on to the Celtic third kit. This has split opinion right down the middle. Celtic have released their third kit. It was leaked last night, but it was released officially this morning, and it is a little bit ugly, but a little bit beautiful at the same time. I'm not really sure how I really feel about it. It's got the thin green and pink stripes going down the middle. The crest is in the middle. The Adidas crest is just above the Celtic crest, and the Dafabet logo is right down by your belly button. I think this is one step off from being a classic. I think if they put the crest and the Adidas badge in the normal positions with the Dafabet logo up a little bit further, I think it's a really nice jersey. And I've always said this, jerseys are only as nice as the team that plays in them. So, for example, last year's kit, one of my favourite kits in terms of the first kit, second kit and third kit. Unbelievable, really, really nice, but the team was shite. So nobody will remember that kit. If you look back to the 2004 jersey, the yellow one that Henrik Larsson wore, objectively not the greatest jersey in the world, but because the team was great, we all think that was one of the best jerseys of all time for Celtic. So that will guide whether this jersey is a success or failure. One disappointing aspect of that is the fact that you can't get a sponsorless version. The Celtic FC store confirmed this on Twitter yesterday or this morning, that there is no sponsorless version of this, which is disappointing because jerseys ultimately are always much nicer without the sponsor, especially the fact that Dafabet is a fairly ugly sponsor, to be fair. So I think it's disappointing that you can't get a sponsor this one, especially given the fact, you know, it's a betting company. Maybe not many people will want to be associated with that, but they're there to make money. Third kits are ultimately there to make money. They're not there because they particularly need them. I do think this one will split opinion all throughout the season, and depending on the team, if the team plays class in it, then the jersey will be class. If the team plays shite in it, then the jersey will go down as one of the worst in history. So do let me know what you think of that jersey in the comments below, because I know on Twitter it really got a good response on the Huddle Breakdown. Loads of people hated it. So Alan Morrison actually really liked it. So it just depends on your taste, but do let me know in the comments whether you like the third kit or not. And just to finish off, it is Ajer Postecoglou's first game in charge of Celtic this week as they take on Sheffield Wednesday on Wednesday in a pre-season friendly. It's taking place at 3 o'clock in Newport. It's not going to be on TV. It will be on Celtic TV, and it will be available for highlights as well after the fact. I am looking forward to this game more than I've looked forward to a lot of pre-seasons games, because it'll give you a little bit of an insight into what Celtic are trying to do. Now, a lot of people would have seen Ajer Postecoglou's mic'd up training session, and it was all about fast movement, fast speed, fast ball speed, high intensity movement. So if Celtic are able to replicate that on the pitch, then I do think we're in for a very, very tasty season. And whatever way it falls, I think we'll be entertained by this Celtic team, whether they are good, whether they are bad. I think Ange is going to play nice football. I think it's going to be modern, it's going to be quick, it's going to be fast, it's going to be high intensity. The unfit players are not going to be able to cope with it. And I do think in Scotland, there's only one team really that will be able to handle that, and that's the team Celtic are going to be competing with for the title. So if it all comes together, the parts come together, the transfers get in on time, the players develop, there's a lot of ifs and buts here. I do think Celtic are going to be good this year. I'm feeling optimistic for the first time in a year. Since I started this YouTube channel, I felt optimistic about the future of Celtic. So I really hope I don't live to regret that. I really hope that Celtic play really good football, and I'm looking forward to getting the first sight of the likes of Liam Shaw, of Urquide, and of the style of football that Ajer Postecoglou is trying to implement at Celtic. So I don't know how you feel about the new season. Do let me know in the comments below. That is the first Monday agenda of the season. Back again for the new season. Really looking forward to it. If you do like the videos, do subscribe to the channel below. Subscribe to the podcast network as well. You can get that in Spotify or iTunes. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can get the Monday agenda, you can get the Huddle Breakdown, and you can get the rest of the content created on this channel as well. So hit the subscribe button below. Like the video if you do like them. We'll chat to you next week.